you want to know for sure, right? Like even if I'm buying a dollar card, I want to know for sure that it's real.
You could get into certain groups. You get into the Series 2 card, you get first dibs. You're on that white list.
This is big.
We're in the very early stages.
Mitch, you mentioned something not too long ago, very interesting, about the blockchain. Take me through that. Do you think this is something that we can implement in the sports cards?
Yeah, obviously. I think not just sports cards, but I've had mixed feelings on NFTs for sports cards because I love my sports cards. I love my Matthews, my Zions. I'm never going to sell some of those cards. But I think the biggest reason why Fanatics made that big move is they're going to integrate blockchain and NFT specifically. You're going to see more digital cards. Yeah. One thing that I've learned through experience, messing around with the Cardano blockchain, Solana, I'm even teaching some courses on beginner level type NFTs. So if you don't know, an NFT is a non-fungible token. It's a way to specify a unique item on the blockchain. So you could take, for example, an Austin Matthews 9.5 with an exact subgrade or any other physical item, and then you could represent that as a digital token that's on the blockchain. And when it's on the blockchain, it's also verified by either Ethereum's network, Cardano's network, or Solana, one of these bigger chains. It's going to help the verification of cards, so there's going to be fewer fakes. You're going to know exactly how many are out there. Yep. You will be able to maintain the condition, and then you also see, the history of sales, which will be really cool. So you'll have a very open, decentralized way of trading cards, which we've never had before. This is big. That's only a couple of components. Right. I think what they're going to do is blow up sports cards with NFTs, and that's going to be for the physical items you already have and for newer digital items that you represent too.
See, I really like what you said about authenticating things on the blockchain, seeing, basically what's right. And what I immediately think of is was it Logan or Jake Paul? One of the Pauls, right, buying G.I. Joe cards. Like that's embarrassing, and let alone not embarrassing whether or not it was done intentionally or not. You want to know for sure, right? Like even if I'm buying a dollar card, I want to know for sure that it's real. So I think that might speed up the process even for grading, right? I think it will. And also, I think that what they could do is easily incorporate that with print runs. Because I am sick and tired of not knowing how many X cards there are. It's cool to know, okay, once they're graded, but it's like, well, how many ungraded Zion prisms are there?
You'll know. So with the blockchain, the whole idea, like Bitcoin was obviously the first introduction to the blockchain, but and that's what's going to add scarcity to the cards, is that you're going to know how many are out there, how many have been minted, how many, packs have been opened. You're going to be able to do that. You'll be able to open up digital packs, and you'll know which ones are open, unopened. You'll be able to track all these things instantly. Yeah. Not only that, but think about it this way. Now, when you want to sell your card, you don't have to mail it. You don't have to go in a bubble mailer. You don't have to worry about it getting lost in the mail. You send it over the blockchain. It's going to be cheaper. It's going to be more efficient. You're going to be able to send multiple cards at the same time for the same amount of time. You can now ship your cards theoretically to, a different country. So Canada to the US, cross-border payments, all that stuff. Yeah. Not only that, but you're going to know as well, because of the asset ID, specifically for blockchain, you'll know that Topps printed that card because it will have their unique asset ID. You won't be able to fake it. It's going to be really cool.
Yeah. Now, with that being said, do you think that there's anything that they can do where there's still a physical card, right?
Yep.
There's a lot of people, and myself included, and it's like, I still physically like the card. Because if it's just an NFT, then the condition is always going to be the condition. Mm-hmm. So how can they go about having a physical card and this NFT?
Yeah, well, I think they're going to live kind of together, kind of like how cryptos and I guess you would look at like fiat money. I don't think fiat money is going to go away. We still need fiat money that represents, the assets of that country, right? Sure. The value, the energy of the country. But for cards, I think what they will do in the future, especially like if it's a serious card, you will have, for example, an NFT that goes with the physical item. But yeah, that's going to be kind of a tricky area. I've been asking myself those questions. Here's an example. Let's say Shohei Ohtani gets 700 home runs at the end of his career. Okay? And somebody got that ball. Okay? And you want to make sure that's the ball. Well, what you will be able to do, the person that gets it, they could team up with MLB and they could mint an NFT of that ball that comes with the ball. So now when you buy that ball, you know that there's only one of one from that. You know what I mean? So that's something that I've been thinking about. Let's take Albert Pujols. Say you have his bat, okay? And you have this final at bat of Albert Pujols. Sure. Say he retires again this year. Yeah. So Albert Pujols, you get his bat. When you go to a party on a boat with all your millionaire friends, whatever it is, you're not going to bring that bat with you for security reasons. But what you can do, you can show them an NFT, right? So now you don't have to risk losing that bat. You can keep it in a safe and security. You can keep it at MLB's headquarters, but you know that you own it. You're the only one, and it's all supported by the network, meaning that you know there are no other NFTs from MLB that show that this person bought it. Gotcha. And you can see a history that you bought it on the blockchain. It's public ledger. Anybody can see it. That's where I think it's interesting. And that's where the physical items, for example, let's say you have one of the rarest Gretzky cards, the PSA 10 Gretzky O-Pee-Chee. Instead of walking around with the $1 million card, you walk around with the photo and the proof that you own the card. You can keep it on your wallet, on the blockchain. That's where it all gets stored. And it's a great way for security, right? I've even been thinking about this with gold and money. Like, you don't want to walk around with money, so you have a bank account, you leave it at the banks.
Right.
That's where NFTs are going to come into play. And people aren't thinking about this yet, but I am. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, this episode of Red Cape Sports is free. If you guys made it this far, that's a lot of knowledge I didn't even think of. The least you guys can do is go ahead and smash the like button, because that was crazy. I learned a lot here, Mitch, so I appreciate that. What Fanatics really is licensing, right? Fanatics is licensing. They own a lot of licensing, so what we're going to see now is they recently acquired Topps, which is big, right? So they're still going to print off Topps baseball cards, which to me is just massive, right? I was really worried over, well, is Bowman going to overtake them? You know, Topps has been around for so long, and to me they're the staple. Are we going to see Topps football, right? Like, these are cards that were here
maybe
not too long ago. And if Topps, let's say, if they do like a Topps Chrome, right? Like, very similar to what they did with Kobe Bryant's rookie. If they do that, what is then the chase card? Because we got Prism, we got Selects, which of course is also Panini. We got so many different varieties of things where I think Fanatics is in the driver's seat. I really do. So what do you think is going to happen with their licensing in terms of other sports?
I like that. I think Topps basketball is cool. I'm thinking about my Vince Carter cards that I have. I have a couple of those. You're right. Those were really good-looking cards. Yeah. And you have the Topps and Topps Chromes. That would be a nice thing to throw in. Right now, I just think there are too many different prints of different companies. I don't like seeing literally over 100 different rookie cards. Like, literally 100 different base rookie cards, let alone the parallels.
It makes it difficult for newcomers, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it does make it more difficult, but it also, in terms of scarcity, that's why I really think the big move that they're doing, and they're seeing this, they're going to implement a little more NFTs to the game. And it doesn't mean physical cards are going away. It's going to be another thing that goes with cards. Think about it like the internet and the lives that we live. There's life on the internet, they're going to work together. But yeah, I've been thinking about this as well. You're right. There's a lot. One thing I do want to ask all of you, if you don't like the idea of NFTs, like digital images that you can represent that you own that asset number, go out and get one. Because when I first bought my first NFT, I thought it was the most ridiculous thing. But think about it this way. You can buy an NFT and own royalties and also get different perks. So let's say you buy an NFT of a rookie that comes out next year, like the next LaMelo Ball. Let's say that if you own one of these rookies, you're going to get 1% of all sales of that rookie card. And that's going to happen on the blockchain. So whenever the next LaMelo Ball resells, you owning that NFT in your wallet, you get royalties from that card. So now you literally, for the first time, get the royalties back. This is what's going to happen with music. This is what's going to happen with sports cards. You're going to become even more of an investor with the blockchain technology, and it's all verified through that decentralized network.
Sports cards are never going to be the same.
NFTs are not going to ruin sports cards. They're going to give more power to the buyers. And if you believe in a player and you want to put your money on LeBron James, you buy those cards, that NFT. Well, if it resells and you get a kickback, or if that player grows in value, like you could also get, for example, you could implement the fact that if you can verify that you own that on the blockchain, you could get into certain groups. You can get into, maybe you get into the Series 2 card, you get first dibs, you're on that white list.
This is big.
We're in the very early stages. When you go online and you watch a video, say you're watching the show, right? This is difficult to do if you have dial-up. You remember slow speed internet.
Sure do.
When we get 5G, now it opens up the window to do things simultaneously when other things are happening. These are like bridges, and we're also able to, for example, communicate this video on a live stream instantly. When that's happening with cards, when cards are able to communicate with one another, when the blockchain is going to be integrated and bridges are going to be in play, that's where it's all going to change.
I see great apps, and I love these apps, don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. But I see apps that highlight, well, this is what this card sold for, such as Market Movers or Card Ladder, whatever it might be.
Yep.
None of those cards, and I mean none of them, account for what a card sells for at a card show, what it sells for in person.
Yeah.
With this blockchain technology that you've been discussing, can we then do that? So let's say I go to the Miami card show or Dallas, whatever it might be, and I sell a card to Ryan from Card Collector 2.
Yeah.
Can we then integrate that so it's, hey, we sold this card? Like, is that possible?
Yeah, and not only that, but there's not going to be any like fake bids sort of thing. That's where it's going to be great, because whenever you make a transaction on the blockchain, and this is where people hear about it all the time, the whole idea of the blockchain is a decentralized place where people can send assets like coins or now NFTs, which are just digital images that represent an item. So yeah, in short story, yes. Like, let's say that future cards are driven on the blockchain, they're supported. Whenever you make a transaction, you're going to see all that information. It's a public, open ledger, and it's decentralized like YouTube. The reason you can watch us now is because anybody can go on YouTube, as long as you're not a terrorist, and you can make an episode and anybody can see it. But that's the idea though, right? It is a decentralized platform in which you can upload video content, right?
Thanks for watching this episode of Red Cape Sports. Thank you all so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, please go ahead and leave us a thumbs up. It really helps us out to grow the channel and to reach more people who love sports card collecting as yourself. And just a reminder, if you guys are interested in learning more than just what we put out here on YouTube, down below in the video description, there is a link to our Udemy course. Ultimately there, you guys can learn tons of different things on how to collect sports cards, protect them, and ultimately invest in the sports card industry. Again, thank you all so much for watching. Till next time.